teams out of their rhythm, disrupt their spacing and timing a little bit.
The tension between the WNBA's present and its future has been brewing for months. But it took a single appearance from Candace Parker to turn speculation into a full-blown confrontation. On ESPN's First Take, the three-time WNBA champion, widely regarded as one of the most intelligent, poised, and respected voices in basketball, sat across from Stephen A. Smith and delivered a message that landed like a thunderclap. This wasn't some vague diplomatic sidestep around league politics. This was direct. This was sharp. And this was exactly what so many players and fans had been waiting to hear. Parker's words cut straight to the heart of the issue, the league's leadership. Under Commissioner Cathy Engelbert has been stumbling at the very moment it should be sprinting into a new era. While Caitlin Clark's arrival has supercharged interest in women's basketball, bringing millions of new eyes to the sport and shattering viewership records.
Things, and I think that sometimes that comes into play, but overall, the cadence of game.
The response from the commissioner's office has been curiously cold. Public missteps, awkward deflections, and a failure to fully champion the league's most visible star have left many wondering whether Engelbert is truly the leader to carry the WNBA into its brightest chapter yet. Stephen A. never one too shy. Away from a pointed question, zeroed in on the whispers that have swirled around the league. Is there resentment from veteran or retired players toward the meteoric rise of Caitlin Clark? Is there a sense that the spotlight is shifting too fast, too soon? Parker didn't blink. She acknowledged the undercurrent, but instead of fanning the flames, she set the record straight with wisdom and clarity. She drew from her own experience, recalling how Cheryl Miller, pioneer of the women's game who never had a professional league to play in, chose mentorship over bitterness. Miller had supported her, cheered her on, and sat courtside for the next generation, and Parker was doing the same for Clark. That's what leadership looks like.
About expanding our footprint, about how we make sure that...
Her point was simple, but it hit like a sledgehammer. The job of each generation is to leave the game better than they found it. And in Parker's eyes, that means celebrating, not resenting the arrival of new stars. It's a sentiment that stands in stark contrast to the recent public posture of Engelbert, whose comments about Clark have often seemed begrudging, even dismissive. One moment in particular still hangs in the air. When asked about Caitlin Clark's unprecedented impact, Engelbert responded not by praising her, but by cautioning that no league is about one player, even speculated that Clark might get injured. It was a baffling, tone-deaf remark. This is the league's brightest draw, the catalyst for a surge in merchandise sales. It's ticket demand and national coverage, and the commissioner's instinct was to downplay it.
Roster and putting a different kind of team together, and then they go to the NBA Finals.
For a fan base starved for bold, visionary leadership, it felt like a gut punch. Parker, by contrast, understands the moment. She spoke about the tangible growth of the game, the undeniable impact of television exposure, and the way the NCAA's embrace of primetime slots had proven that visibility drives engagement. She highlighted the WNBA's expansion and the business opportunities ahead, but she kept circling back to one point: the importance of focusing on basketball itself. Rivalries? They're great. Storylines? They're essential, but let them stay between the lines, built on the game's competitive fire. It's not on toxicity, race baiting, or divisive narratives. Her call was as much a cultural reset as it was a leadership philosophy. She reminded everyone that Dominique Wilkins and Dr. Dottie J didn't stew in bitterness when Michael Jordan exploded onto the scene.
The floor, we all genuinely enjoy time with one another.
They recognized his impact and the way he elevated the game for everyone. The same mindset should guide the WNBA today, and then Parker did something Engelbert hasn't. She laid out a vision for tangible improvements, more roster spots, greater investment in player development, a league infrastructure that matches the ambition of its stars. This wasn't lip service, it was a blueprint. Rooted in both her decades-long career and her belief in what the league can become, Stephen A. recognized it instantly. Here was someone who not only grasped the magnitude of Caitlin Clark's effect on the WNBA, but who also knew how to harness it. He's been saying for months that Clark is the single most important factor in the league's current growth. Yet time and again, he's watched the commissioners stumble through opportunities to say the same.
Ow.
Listening to Parker, it wasn't hard to imagine what the WNBA might look like under her stewardship. And the numbers back her up. Merchandise sales have soared up 450%, according to Fanatics, with Clark leading all WNBA players and ranking 5th among athletes across all sports. Sales of WNBA-specific gear have doubled, driven largely by Clark's arrival. Yet instead of riding that wave with confidence, Engelbert has seemed almost reluctant to give Clark her due, spreading credit around in a way that feels more like damage control than genuine leadership. The reaction to Parker's comments was swift and overwhelming. Social media lit up with praise, fans calling her the real commissioner and exactly the voice the WNBA needs. Many noted how she embodied the very mentorship and unity that the league should be promoting, a stark contrast to the perceived detachment from its current leadership. And perhaps that's why Parker's appearance resonated so deeply. She wasn't just defending Caitlin Clark. She was defending the future of the league itself. She was showing in real time how to uplift new talent without diminishing the legacy of those who came before. She was articulating the kind of leadership that builds bridges instead of walls, as Clark sits out for the next 2 weeks. The league faces a question it can't dodge forever. What does it want to be? A place where new stars are embraced, nurtured, and celebrated for the audiences they bring in? Or a league so afraid of change that it squanders its own momentum? Candace Parker has already made her choice clear. And if the WNBA listens, it might just find that her vision is the one that carries it into its most successful era yet. If you're watching this, what do you think? Should the WNBA have someone like Candace Parker steering the ship? Is Caitlin Clark's rise being celebrated enough? Or is league leadership holding her back? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you're enjoying the discussion, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the stories shaping the game we love.